Hi Virgo, welcome to your end of September 2020 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. Well, I've been waiting to record and there's some environmental noise. I'm hoping that it's far enough in the background that it doesn't get picked up too much right now. So, because I did want to hop on these in a timely manner. So, we're looking at this time period of the last half of September. Happy birthday to those late degree Virgos. In a couple of days on the 17th, we're going to have a new moon at 25 degrees of Virgo. So if you're born around that, in the next few days, this is going to be a conjunction with your sun. Or if you are watching this for your rising sign, sometimes people ask me, should I watch for my rising sign? I mean, if it's something that it resonates with you, especially if you are under the age of 30 and the rising sign is still very active in your vibration, as I call it, you might, if you feel that way, that you should. I mean, some people are watching for their moon signs and even looking for timing issues with transits for their moon in the astrology. But in any case, I mean, I'm talking about astrological transits when I'm talking about this new moon. And so those people that have a late degree sun in Virgo or Virgo rising are going to be especially connected with this. Okay, so I've put the cards in different, see, I think it's so weird because this to me seems like too far to the left, but it looks like it's going to be center. And so this is a general kind of a update. Let's see if I can make room for more cards to be shown to you. Okay, there we go. So you have a lot of major arcana cards, my goodness. Out of only 6 cards, you got 4 major arcana cards. And major arcana cards do not comprise the majority of cards in a tarot deck. Only, I would say, less than 1/3. So, statistically speaking, this is pretty significant. Major arcana cards can indicate major change, like not just day-to-day events. So that would make sense since the sun is in your sign that you might be feeling that a lot of things are happening. The heart of the matter is the 3 of Swords, which is a card that we associate with heartbreak or feeling rejected about something. In some cases, this can be a lover's triangle. In some cases, this can be heart surgery that is taking place. But the person may feel like they have a dilemma whether or not to stay in a situation with somebody or kind of cut it very cleanly, clean break. Don't keep going back and forth because that just drags them deeper into a negative situation. And we look to the past position card to give us more information, and we get the Justice card. So an example would be, I see the King of Wands there. If you are getting divorced, and even in the midst of divorce, your soon-to-be ex is suddenly very attentive. These are the kinds of things that seem to occur when there is narcissism very, front and center, where the other person is almost playing games with breakups. Maybe they initiated a divorce or moved out if you're living together, and then all of a sudden they want to go back. It's like they're trying to mess with your head. But the Justice card too can be about fairness and like seeing a situation and saying, whoa, wait a second. So this could even be in the workplace. When I see the 3 of Swords, and I'm thinking of the workplace, I think of somebody who got passed over for promotion, or simply that you feel that you're not as important to the boss as you were before. Somebody else may have come into the picture. So it's like three's a crowd type of deal. And that can feel like a sense of rejection, especially if you grew up with sibling rivalry. You're already sensitive to somebody coming in and replacing you. So it's kind of like that uncomfortable feeling that can take over, when in fact it can be a wonderful opportunity for you to look at other things that are going on. And, is this relationship good to begin with? Because chances are, if it's a relationship, a personal relationship, or a professional relationship, there may be other things. Maybe you were not getting paid what you're worth, and the Justice card is about fairness and balance. The higher message is the King of Wands, which is a card of, to me, the highest manifestation of autonomy and, self-empowerment. So it's like the universe giving you this situation so that you can become somebody who is much more self-sufficient. It's funny because I got the Magician card, which is totally associated with self-sufficiency. But this idea of somebody who doesn't need other people to hire them, to give them orders, to pay them at the end of the week. And for a Virgo, that's going to be a little bit of a difficult choice, because as an earth sign, that sense of like getting, this tangible paycheck can be very satisfying and very kind of calming to the nerves. When you work for yourself, do you know in the next week how much you're going to make? Of course you don't. Some people have subscription services. They might have a little bit more stability in that area, I suppose. In general, you don't know how much profit you're going to make. If you're uncomfortable with the unknown, then that's going to really grate on you. But if you can approach it with adventure, which the King of Wands, being fire, is all about adventure and confidence, then you can look at it as something exciting instead of something that feels like, anxiety producing. I think the King of Wands, when I mention confidence, that's such an important part of this, because when I'm doing personal readings or just, talking to people online or what have you, I always try to stress to that person that if somebody is the one to initiate a breakup, for instance, or even if you get laid off from a particular job, if you take that situation to be a reflection on you and how unworthy you are, of course you're going to take it to heart. Yeah, maybe that's what we could say about the Three of Swords, taking something to heart. Feeling hurt by something that has happened and assuming that it is a reflection on you in a negative way. If you notice people who are self-actualized, who are very successful, we could say, but they also have a dynamic quality similar to the King of Wands, where they seem to just play with life and they seem to welcome challenges. There's a confidence. There's an innate confidence there. And even when they try something and it doesn't succeed, it doesn't make or break them. They're just, they try something else, and they're very forward thinking and forward moving. So confidence isn't about never having anything to be disappointed about, or not, or winning everything that you do, but it's like the perception of what it means to not be successful. And if you and in Virgo, it's really interesting because I have the moon in Virgo. My sun is in Sag, but my moon is in Virgo, and I know the moon is this sensitive, our nature. Like, what kind of nature do we have? Well, emotional nature. Virgo is an earth sign, so it's not very emotive in and of itself. If you have aspects to it, and depending on what house it's in, it's going to change that. But the idea being that Virgo, people with a prominent Virgo tend to be hard on themselves. There's a perfectionistic quality that's infamous, but just that sense of doubt, self-doubt, not believing in your, not having enough belief in your talents, being a little bit like downplaying them. And so then feeling like if somebody else rejects you, that means that, or, it's not even necessarily rejection. If they pass you over, that it's a reflection on you, which it may totally not be. There's office politics. Let's face it. There are people that you may get involved with personally who don't feel lovable themselves. So they choose relationships where the other person's going to treat them like crap, and maybe you treat this person so well that they can't handle it. You have to consider all the possibilities and not get too caught up in, I'm no good, that kind of thing. What crosses you is the Sun card. Now, the Sun card is one of these cards that even when it's in the challenge position, it's positive. It's kind of like Jupiter going retrograde, and Jupiter just went direct, by the way. So the Sun connects to Leo. So if this is a Leo person that you're dealing with, maybe it's just kind of affirming that this person may not be a good influence on you, may not have your best interests at heart. I could see this sometimes as somebody that, because the King of Wands, to me, is a Leo. And so perhaps it's saying that you can't be with your Leo. And yet this might just be a temporary separation. So the point being that since the King of Wands is the higher message, for some of you, this is the person that, the universe has cleared a space for. If you have a Leo person around you, that is sweet on you, I guess. But the Sun card, just to hold it up again, it's a card of love. That's why they have these two people. It's a card of children. It's a card of, prosperity, success, all these things, healing. And something is preventing that. Doesn't mean it's not coming, it's delayed. And it's delayed because maybe you're still hanging on to something that is not for you. So you're going to have to decide if you're going to let it go or not. Because then you can embrace the future goodness that is coming your way. Because look what we have coming in. The Magician card. The, self-empowerment. Finding that resourcefulness within you and being able to tap into that so that you are your own alchemist. You're your own change agent. It's not up to anybody else. That's one of the greatest gifts of resourcefulness and self-empowerment is that it does make you self-empowered. When you're resourceful, you're not always needing other people to help you. There's nothing wrong in enlisting help when you need it, but sometimes people are overly dependent and then they are at the whim or the mercy of somebody else. So this is about creating your own reality. This is about, with the Lover's Triangle or the Three of Swords, of not sitting there saying, poor me, look at what happened to me. if only they would have done something different, I would be happy. It's like, no, those people aren't here to do something different for you. They're here to maybe provide contrast so that it gives you a clearer vision of what it is that you want to accomplish. If everybody was just accommodating, they might accommodate you in a mediocre place that is very comfortable, but not necessarily where you need to be. Sometimes we need those kinds of, we need that pushback in order to develop muscle. I mean, I'm not a weightlifter, but I know that, or anything where, you know, those, I have these resistance bands. I just need to use them. I need to take them out of the box. But you need that resistance in order to strengthen your body when you're working out. And the same thing applies to yourself on an energetic level. If you know, so that's why, you know, when I'm looking at a personal chart and I see squares, I don't go, oh my God, the poor person, they have all these squares. No, they have a lot of challenges maybe that they have to overcome, but maybe this gives them the impetus to do that instead of just like being complacent and having all these, you know, blessings flowing to you almost effortlessly, that which could be trines, and even if you just do a little work, maybe sextiles. But if it's not easy sailing, doesn't mean that the person can't be very successful. And so anyway, and the outcome is the Empress. This is the Earth Mother. You're an Earth sign. This is Libra. I mean, well, it's Libra, but also Taurus, your fellow Earth sign. This is a card of motherhood, of love, of creativity. So, you know, for people who are looking for love, the more that you follow your own path and do your own thing, the more that what you want will come to you. Almost seems paradoxical, because we think, hey, if I'm, you know, how can I improve, you know, my relationships if I'm doing my own thing? Because you're not obsessing. And it's a form of control when you're obsessing. You're trying to think, you know, a situation into being instead of the art of allowing, which I think is ultimately much more effective. Okay, that's what I have for you, Virgo. I hope that you resonated with this, and hey, you know, it's that time. If you would like a personal reading, like a natal chart interpretation, looking at the year ahead, the 12 months ahead, the transits that are important, that can give you an overview of the themes in your life from 2020 to 2021. You know, I have that type of reading. I also have a special full-length reading of that, which is at least 70 minutes, and a full-length tarot reading, at least 45 minutes for a special price. That's called the whole enchilada. So the link below will give you more information on that. And I thank you so much for watching. Have a great new moon in your sign. Take care. Bye.